Have you ever thought about how powerful Sirius Black really was in Harry Potter? What if he wasn't as heroic as he seemed? In today's video, you will find out why Sirius Black is one of the most controversial characters in the entire series. Sirius Black had a tragic fate, a rebellious spirit, and undeniable magical talent. But calling him a good character is not that simple. He was brave, loyal, and willing to fight for what he believed in. Yet his past was filled with reckless choices that led to serious consequences. From childhood, Sirius stood out. Born into the infamous Black family, he rejected their obsession with blood purity and refused to follow their path. His defiance led him to Gryffindor, where he found his true family, James Potter, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Together they became the Marauders, a mischievous and fearless group of friends. But his rebellious nature put him at odds with his own relatives. At 16, he ran away from home, cutting ties with the family that never truly accepted him. When Lord Voldemort rose to power, Sirius joined the Order of the Phoenix. He fought alongside James and Lily, even becoming the godfather of their son Harry. But then came the ultimate betrayal. Peter Pettigrew, whom Sirius had always looked down on, revealed the Potter's hiding place to Voldemort. In one night, Sirius lost everything. His best friends were dead, and their murderer walked free. Consumed by rage, Sirius hunted down Pettigrew, only to be framed for his crimes. With a single explosion, Peter faked his own death, left a street full of bodies, and disappeared, leaving Sirius to take the fall. 12 years in Azkaban, 12 years of torment, locked away with soul-draining dementors. Yet somehow Sirius endured. When he discovered that Peter was still alive, he did the impossible, escaped from Azkaban, something no wizard had ever done before. His only goal was revenge, but fate had other plans. Instead of killing Pettigrew, Sirius became a fugitive, forced to hide in the shadows. He watched over Harry from afar, longing to be the father figure his godson needed. Despite his hardships, Sirius was a formidable wizard. He fought Death Eaters, held his own in duels, and was one of the few wizards who could transform into an animagus at will. He resisted the soul-crushing effects of Azkaban for over a decade, something even seasoned wizards could not do. But was he truly great? Compared to legends like Dumbledore and Voldemort, his magic was not exceptional. His strength lay in his resilience, not in raw power. Yet for all his heroism, Sirius was far from perfect. His childhood arrogance never left him. He bullied Peter Pettigrew, treating him as lesser, which may have driven Peter to betray the Potters. He tormented Severus Snape, turning his school years into a nightmare. Even as an adult, he was reckless, impulsive, and often blinded by emotions. His inability to think before acting led to his own downfall. His final moment, rushing to battle, facing his deranged cousin Bellatrix Lestrange, ended in tragedy. Sirius Black was complex, brave but reckless, loyal but flawed, a hero but not a saint. Some see him as a tragic figure, a man broken by fate. Others see a reckless troublemaker whose choices led to disaster. What do you think? Was Sirius Black a true hero, or did his own flaws seal his fate? The Black family was once one of the most powerful bloodlines in the wizarding world. They prided themselves on their pure magical heritage, their wealth, and their deep connections to the Ministry of Magic. But their name was also shrouded in fear and secrecy. They believed in their own superiority, looking down on anyone with even a drop of non-magical blood. Slytherin was their legacy, power was their goal, and loyalty to their cause was demanded. Yet one member of their family would break this tradition. Sirius Black, the first Black to ever be sorted into Gryffindor, would become their disgrace. Sirius did not belong in his own home. Even as a child, he questioned the beliefs his parents tried to instill in him. His mother, Walburga Black, was a woman of cold discipline and rigid ideals. She adored her younger son, Regulus, who followed the family's traditions, but Sirius, he was different. He mocked their obsession with blood purity, laughed at their archaic rules. "My mother didn't have a heart, creature," he once said bitterly. She kept a strict, nasty little box where it should have been Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. His rebellion did not go unnoticed. At family gatherings, he was the Black who refused to act like a Black. He questioned his father's rants about Muggle inferiority. He refused to bow to the traditions that had bound their family for centuries. His relatives saw him as an infection, something that needed to be purged. His name was often spoken in hushed tones, followed by sighs of disappointment. But his true betrayal came when he befriended James Potter, a boy from a well-respected but impure family. The Potters did not care about blood status. They valued courage, kindness, and friendship. For Sirius, it was like breathing fresh air for the first time. The warmth of James's household was the exact opposite of Grimmauld Place, the cold, oppressive, Black family home. By the time he was 16, Sirius had had enough. One final argument with his mother ended with hexes flying through the air. He stormed out, leaving behind the life that had suffocated him. "I was always different," he later admitted. "But I got out, didn't I? Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix." He found refuge with the Potters, and for the first time he felt free. His mother reacted as expected. She blasted his name off the Black family tapestry, a fate reserved for the worst traitors. To her, he was dead, a disgrace, a stain on their once proud lineage. But the Black family had seen betrayals before. His cousin Andromeda had been disowned for marrying a Muggle-born wizard, Ted Tonks. And yet they still clung to their fading power, unwilling to accept that their beliefs were crumbling. His brother, Regulus, was the perfect son, obedient, proud, loyal to the cause. But even Regulus had his own secrets. He joined the Death Eaters, fully embracing Voldemort's ideology. Yet in the end, he realized the horror of what he had pledged himself to. In secret, he stole one of Voldemort's Horcruxes and tried to destroy it. It cost him his life. But the Black family never spoke of it. To them, he died an honorable servant of the Dark Lord. They never knew, or perhaps refused to admit, that he had tried to stop him. Sirius carried his hatred for his family for the rest of his life. When he was imprisoned in Azkaban for a crime he didn't commit, his mother never reached out. His relatives never questioned the truth. They were content to believe he was a murderer. That was easier than accepting that he had never been like them. But Sirius never truly escaped his past. When he was forced to return to Grimmauld Place during the Second Wizarding War, the house itself seemed to suffocate him. The walls were covered in the faces of his ancestors, all sneering down at him, whispering reminders of the life he had abandoned. The portrait of his mother still screamed insults at him, as if time had never moved forward. Sirius Black rejected his family, but their darkness never truly let him go. In the end, he died as he had lived, fighting against everything they stood for. Yet despite his defiance, despite his hatred, the name Black still followed him to the grave.